Leslie with Patternbank, and in this video I'm going to explain the difference between a bitmap and a vector file. So when you download a pattern from Patternbank, you have the option of downloading either a bitmap or a vector file. So let's dive into the video to find out what the differences are. So once you purchase a design from Patternbank, you will receive one of two options, either a vector or a bitmap file. A bitmap is also sometimes called a raster, and if you would like to search for one or the other, you can come to the sidebar here and either check vectors, and it will filter all of your search results by only showing you vectors, or you can choose bitmap, and it will filter your results showing you only bitmap files. Bitmaps are generally better for digital printing, while vectors are generally better for screen printing based on the separation of colors and motifs in the process. However, there are so many printing processes nowadays that you could still digitally print a vector file. It may be a little bit harder to screen print a bitmap file, but you could go the other way. Here we have an example of a bitmap file, and a bitmap file is basically a pixel-based file with thousands of colors. Sometimes it can be hand-painted or a photographic style of imagery. So you can see the hand-painted look within this file, which is really hard to capture in vector. This is one of the benefits of working in raster or bitmap, is that you get a lot of detail, including the detail of painterly brushstrokes. So one question you may have is, are bitmap files editable? And the answer is yes, most bitmaps can be edited, but it does depend on the layers and how the design is constructed. When purchased as a commercial license, you will get a layered PSD file. As you can see here, this is checked and the AI or EPS option is X'd out, which means you will not receive the AI or EPS file, but you will receive a Photoshop file. It's also in repeat and is a seamless tile, so it is ready to be repeated across fabric or apparel. A layered PSD file means that you will receive the PSD file with at least 2 layers, but usually more, so that you can edit the design, change the background, or tweak elements or the layout if needed. All designers work slightly differently, so the amount of layers can vary. As you can see in the description here, the artist has included that this pattern has a layered PSD file, it's an easy to change background color, and all elements are on separated layers. So make sure to pay attention to the description to make sure it's the type of file that you need. You can also always email support@patternbank.com for specific file info before purchasing. As with any bitmap or raster file, you will also want to pay attention to the file size. The one limitation with bitmap or raster files is that they will lose quality beyond this file size. So as long as your size needs are not above this file size, you should be completely fine. As you can see, we can zoom in the design up to this much on this little example here, and zooming out is no problem. It's just being able to zoom past this size that you may run into some issues losing quality. A vector file is generally created in Adobe Illustrator, and if you look over on the right-hand side, you can see that this part is checked where the artist has uploaded a vector, AI, or EPS file. Moreover, you'll see that the layered Photoshop file is X'd out, meaning it is not there. So you are not going to get a PSD file, but you will get an AI or EPS file, which means vector. You can also see in the description here where it says vector line art poppies, and it includes the AI with a clipping mask, an EPS 10 with clipping mask, AI cropped with artboard, and the EPS 10 cropped by the artboard as well. You can also see under the license type where it is checked here, the commercial license, where you are purchasing a layered AI file plus the JPEG, and you can sell it for up to 500 end products. So be sure to look at that as well when you are purchasing art. Here are some other examples of vector art, and you'll notice vector art just happens to be really crisp and clean. It is made out of lines. So while raster and bitmap files are made from pixels, vectors are actually made from lines. And so that's why the artwork appears so crisp and clean. And one of the benefits of using Vector is it does not lose quality as you increase the file size. So you can literally increase Vector up and down infinitely and it will never lose quality. So I hope that helped explain the difference between Bitmap and Vector files. Be sure to follow us over on Instagram at Patternbank and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss future videos from us. We'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.